I am live. Welcome to the second class ever in baritone ukulele that I've given. And I hope you meant to be here. I hope you meant to be watching the rerun of this. The resources you need are in jollyrogerukulele.com. And I'm going to go post our link to this page right now. And if you are watching the recording on purpose, you can swing all. Let's see, it's 1:57, so it's 5, 6. You can fast forward 8 minutes, and that's when the class will actually start. So until then, I logged in early today, trying to get. I don't know why I did. I didn't have anything better to do, so I'm logging in early, and so you can feel free to fast forward through the sitting around waiting for everybody to get here portion of this video. And today we are going to be playing from the little book Key of A Strummers. And I love this little book that I made years ago. If you're logging in and you happen to be logged into YouTube, if you will let me know that the sound is good or not, that would be super helpful to me because I can check everything, but I can never check the sound on this. So, and I realize I have the wrong book. No, I don't. Yes, I do. I have the wrong book connected here. I got a baritone book. What did it pull up? Did I give you guys a baritone book or not? Let me go look. Oh, I bet you I goofed up there. Hold on. I think we're fine. We can go to view page. Yeah, class will start in 6 minutes. Got a few people showing up. That's a good idea. That's good. Let me make sure I link the correct thing here. Strumming in the key of A. Oh, yeah, you guys have the correct book. All right. Good. So let me know if the sound is okay, and we'll get started here in about 5 minutes. And I'm going to drink coffee until then. They don't give us straws anymore. So I have to drink out of this little thing. I feel like I'm sucking the life out of this cup. We need to stop meeting. Hey, Jack. Yes, I agree. There's too much Jack and Gary time going on. Hey, Carol. Sound is okay. Good. Well, hopefully you've allotted a little bit of time to get to be a better musician, right? Well, that's what I'm doing. Trying to get to be a little better at teaching. Trying to get a few pieces of paper cleaned up. I'm amazed that when I play stuff that I have written and I think it's perfect when I post it, and I'm like, geez, why didn't you do it this way, or why didn't you do that? So hopefully we're all just getting a little bit better as we get going along. And you guys probably figure this out. This is hard, right? This is a lot of challenging stuff that you're working on, and so kicking out a little bit of time during the day, just allotting it to do this thing, it's going to make you a great musician. Let's see. Vic is in. Hey, Vic. Poor Vic. She's logged a lot of hours with me this week. All right. So tomorrow we're doing the major scales. You guys as baritone players have a problem. I don't know if you're aware of that. But in ukulele, everything's in the key of C, right? For the first, even the stuff that's not in the key of C feels like it's in the key of C. But baritone players, you have to be able to play. The key of C is not particularly friendly for your instrument, so we have to teach you to play in the key of C. But it doesn't really work out as great as the key of D or the key of A. And so your major scales job gave you G, D, and C. To do the same amount of work that ukulele players do just with C. So we're going to keep you busy. I can see big improvement in the orchestra is going to help a lot. Good, Carol. I think, hey, Terry, welcome in. Yeah, I struggle with orchestra online, right? Because we want to be able to play with each other and we want to be able to hear each other and know what's going on. But it's just not possible right now. And so I'm like, well, what can we do to really help you get better and stronger as a player, and that everybody can use without necessarily getting the benefit of the orchestra experience. And so I did settle in on, when new people come around and they're learning their instrument and they're getting pretty good at it and they're pretty excited about it. The one thing that we don't do in the daily classes is really emphasize time and emphasize getting your rhythm correct, and making pieces go faster when we need them and to go slower when we need them, and to work at actually being very efficient with your time. And in order to be fast, you also have to be mindful of, hey, I'm going to put my finger here in order for the next things to happen. And so I'm hoping that our orchestra experience over the next few weeks will just really benefit you in terms of, hey, being just a more efficient, faster player. And that's the goal anyway. We'll see. We'll see how it works out. Never taught it this way. Never had to teach it this way. So we'll find out long term. I think last night, just digging into that idea of get to your chord right now, and we get a little cavalier, especially you guys that are more advanced players. You're like, I can do that. I can do that. Well, let's see what if you can do that. What else can we do to complicate it to make it even better? So, Vic says, I'm learning so much about music from all your classes, including how to play an orchestra. Good, good, right? I think when I started that orchestra, I knew that my idea was, hey, let's get some ukulele players together and play at a higher level. That's my whole thought, right? I didn't realize you're gonna have to learn how to conduct. You're gonna have to learn how to get everybody on time. In time, we're gonna be dealing with stuff like how do we get everybody in the proper seats in the proper timing? How do we get them the back skills necessary to make them go to the next level? How do we get them the skills where once they are reading well and keeping up and everything's going great, how do we go to that next level of musical leadership of saying, hey, you're a great musician. What are you going to do to bring that greatness to the next group of musicians on their way up? And so a lot of that stuff, we just never know what you're going to necessarily need. So I try to give you guys just a little bit of everything, and you'll find out what sticks and what works for you and what doesn't. And what works for you today is not going to be what you're going to need 2 years from now or 5 years from now. And I find that I'm constantly evolving as a teacher and as a student of music, as to this is what I need, this is what I need, this is what I need. I mean, I got really, really, really stuck 6 months ago. I was like, I just feel like I'm doing the same exact thing over and over. And it's because I wasn't growing necessarily. I was just doing what I do all the time. And so in some ways, this pandemic has been a benefit. And then I'm like, okay, you darn well better get your sheet music cleared up, because it's going all over the world now. And so I think, that's what's nice about just getting together and pushing your limits and seeing what works and what doesn't. And hopefully they can. Terry asks, could you let us know what series of Savara? Yeah, Terry, I got your message yesterday. I just didn't have a chance to write you back. Let me look here real quick. I'll get you the correct answer. Savara strings, Savare, classical strings. What I'm going to be giving you is classical strings. The ones in the blue package. You got to find the blue package. What are they called? Hold on, I'll find it here. Hold on. It's the HT Classicals High Tension. Let me see if I can get the exact number for you. No, those are the normal tension. Let me go get. Copy. Amazon is the answer to everything, right? Hold on, I'll get it for you. Don't freak out. I'll get it to you. Savara's Alliance High Tension. There they are. So it's Savara's 540J is the ones I want you guys to explore. They're called Savara's HT Classic Alliance, or Alliance HT Classic High Tension 540J. That's the ones I want you to use. The reason I like the high tension on baritone is. I don't use high tension on guitar because you have a much longer string, and that high tension doesn't get you anything. So the normal tension is fine on classical guitar, but on baritone, because we have a short scale, you need a little more oomph in these strings, and so the high tension gets you what you're looking for. And so we tune this like a guitar, but the strings are very short, so we're not putting them under a ton of tension anyway. And having the high tension ones allows it just to be a little bit more stiff, and it'll get you a little bit better, longer ringing out tones. So the 540Js, Savara's 540J is the one you want. And like I say, I messed around with a lot of there. I even went back to nylon, trying to get a little bit more expressiveness out of my baritone, and never could find anything. And then I tried this set out, and those seem to work pretty good. Let's see, Diane, are all the baritones the same size? For the most part, Diane. I think some are a little bit deeper bodied, but I think in terms of scale length in this, they're all more or less about the same size. I'm looking up there. I got 4 different manufacturers up there, and they're all the same size. So I will point you just so you can see. The baritones are these guys. Let's get this out of the way for a second. These are my these guys right along there. Up there are all the baritones, and you can see those guys right up there. Those are all the baritones, and they're all basically the same size. So that probably gives you a sense of it. Maybe a little bit of difference in the depth of the body, but I think they're all the same. And Terry says, I now use worse strings and have tried Living Water Uke, which GCA for baritone. They are higher tension. Yeah, so Terry, I mean, I don't think there's you mess around till you find the set that you like. I get a unique opportunity here at the shop because I change an awful lot of strings, and I get to try them on different things. Baritone took us by far the most effort to get something that I thought would work. I worked with Jerome, who's in our orchestra, and a very fine player. He plays a lot and goes through a lot of strings, and so he and I tried all sorts of different things. And I don't know if he agreed on, and at the end of the day, whether this was the best choice of strings or not. But there's no question in my mind that I haven't found a better arrangement in strings than those. So that's what I'm going to go with. All right, little discussion on strings. And as you guys figured out, there's no real right answer with strings. But there are strings that are better and strings that are worse. I would say with strings, probably keeping it simple is better, right? I mean, I know a lot of guys order strings from, Tibetan monk and, wherever. And it's hard to get it in. And because of the exclusivity, they think it's something. The other one, a lot of people will use Diodario because so-and-so said they're the best strings. And that's, I don't like to throw cold water onto people's enthusiasm overly much. But if a famous guitarist tells you they use a certain string, they're getting paid to tell you that, and they may or may not use the strings at all. And so it's just one of those things where you want to be a little bit mindful that sometimes people tell you things that aren't exactly true. Okay. And when they're getting paid for it, and the music industry is absolutely horrific about lying to people. So I don't like to find the ones that work for you and give them a try. And if they don't work, then try something else. But I do know, like I say, I'm in a unique position to change a lot of strings. And I do think after changing many, many baritone strings and trying all these different brands, I can't come up with a better arrangement yet than this setup. These ones, because they're meant for classical guitarists, they got to last. Those guys play a lot, and so you got to have, these guys can't unwind real easily, and they've been very good to me. And these guys need to have a nice punch to them, because classical guitar players, they're looking for punch, but they're also looking for good tone, and a lot of them play with this set. So, okay, all right, let's get going. Yesterday we learned Frere Jacques, and I want you to play it right now. Okay, we're going to be playing it in the key of the E, we're going to be reminding ourselves that we are tuned to D, G, B, E, dark, gloomy baritones. Explode, whatever, something. Find yourself a little acronym. Double check that you have a snark tuner, SN8 or ST8, the top of the line. That's the one you want. All chromatic, high definition, and chromatic. So it does all instruments, high def, brand new computer setup in there. They're really, really wonderful. Should cost you about 18, $19 to get one. And then don't go buy everything. Oh, okay. Don't go buy everything. I like that, right? Don't go buy everything. Don't go buy a baritone. Don't go buy. I wanted the B to be baritone, but yeah, don't go buy everything. Nice. Hey, Valerie. Valerie had to run to the bathroom. She was in the last class. Glad you're here, Valerie. All right, D, G, B, E, whatever you. Don't go buy everything. I like that one. That's a good one, Tanya. Thank you. Now we're going to be talking about strings, your frets, 1, 2, 3, 4, got little dots on 5, got little dots on 7, dots on 10, dots on 12, not unimportant. Remember that. Okay, this one has a dot on 15. I don't know if I've ever played that note, but on baritone you might theoretically play that note. On ukulele you will probably never play that note, as this scale is just too short. It goes pink and makes your head fracture. But that's actually sort of pleasant, right? Ding. Okay, that's a G. I might actually use that. And then your strings, remember, are numbered 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? We're going to play just the melody first on Frere Jacques. Hopefully you had a chance last night to get that up to speed. I'm going to sneeze. Sorry. You're supposed to sneeze into your shoulder, but I'm the only one in this. There's a 30,000 square foot old church. I'm the only one here. So nobody's in danger of me. Grab your piece of paper out. You're looking and you're noticing on the tablature that the numbers are on the top line, but that's the bottom string on your ukulele. Okay, so let's give it a try from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4. Open 2, 4. Open, open 2, 4. Open, index, middle, pinky. Index, middle, pinky. Ring, pinky, ring, middle, index, open. Ring, pinky, ring, middle, index, open. First string, second string, first string. First string, second string, first string. Beautiful, right? Now, let's do the same thing, only let's speed up. Don't go by every uke. Right? D, G, B, E. D, G, B, E, U. Now, let's play it at full speed. Okay? Remember, 797-540 is faster. 1, 2, ready, play. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, fast. 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Let's play it one more time at speed. I'm going to speed it up just a smidge. 1, 2, 3, 4. 0, 2, 4, 0, 0, 2, 4, 0, 4, 5, 7, 4, 5, 7, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0, 7, 9, 7, 5, 4, 0. First string, second string, first string, first string, second string, first string. Okay. big takeaway from this. Couple big takeaways. Number one, you're playing one note at a time. That's the melody, and that is where that's going to be what separates you from other instrumental players. Okay, when we're playing melody on an instrument like this, we're doing something very radical because traditionally when we grab a fretted instrument like this, the assumption is you're going to sing, right? And if you're a singer, that's great. But if you're not a singer, it's a nightmare, right? Well, you don't have to let your voice do the singing. You can let the instrument do the singing. It's a little bit harder road to go, but you are actually going to end up being a smarter musician by doing this. And so this is where we start. We really, 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 really need you to play melody. It also separates you from a rhythm guitarist versus a lead guitarist. The lead plays melody, plays one note at a time, really brings out this moment of greatness. The guitar solo, right? That's one note at a time. The rhythm guitarist is over there just keeping beat, and so what we teach you in terms of reading tablature will go a long way. The other nice thing, which I mentioned yesterday on baritone, you can go play guitar tablature, which is there's tons and tons of it out there. Most of it's terrible, but there's tons of it available for you. And so you can actually play guitar tablature. You have to ignore the fact that you're missing two strings, and so it can be a little bit of a brain drain, but you can go play all that guitar tablature just fine. And just be mindful where you get it from. Some of it's so bad it's not worth your time to work on. You should probably be playing mine. Also, you can play all the ukulele tablature, which is nice. You're just in the wrong key, so you can't pay attention to the names of the chords up there. But if you're just playing the straight tabs, numbers, it'll come out of your instrument just fine as well. So you have lots more repertoire than you think. We just got to get you comfy reading the tablature, and then off you go. You're going to be a fine player. Well, we don't know if you're going to be a fine player. We know you're going to have lots to play. How about that? All right. So that's one way of playing the baritone, melody, just straight melody. Okay. Second way of playing it is with chords. And so let's get started on that. You guys were in the key of key of E on that song. And so let's put an E chord on, index finger here, middle finger there. Okay, let's play. 1, 2, 3, 4. Frère Jacques, Frère Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous. Sonnez les matines, sonnez les matines, ding, dang, dong. Ding, dang, dong. Let your instrument ring out. Don't let your chord up until the instrument's totally silent. One way of doing it, okay, now let's take this finger, face of your nail, straight down. Down, 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 down. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping? Brother John, brother John. Morning bells are ringing, morning bells are ringing, ding, dang, dong, ding, dang, dong. Now, the big takeaway from that, if you are a singer, you want to make sure that you understand you do not need to strum what you're singing. It's the opposite of that. You need to sing what you're strumming. And in this case, we're just keeping the beat 1, 2, 3, 4, and you sing over the top of it. We don't want to get where you're trying to match your strumming with your singing. It won't work, and it doesn't sound good anyway. Your strumming hand is for keeping the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. No matter what we do over here, it's 1, 2, 3, 4. And then your voice sits in on top of those beats. That's kind of an important thing when I talk to people who are struggling with singing and strumming at the same time. Partly it's that they're terrible singers, but more importantly, they're usually trying to do stuff with their ukulele to match their voice, and you don't want to do that. You want the ukulele becomes your rhythm section and your harmony section. So it's playing chords and the beat at the same time, and then your voice is dropping in the melody. Okay? Another way to do that, I hope we talked about this yesterday, can't remember for sure, down and then back up. Face down, pad up. 1, 2, 3, 4. make sure your fingernail, the front of your fingernail, isn't pointing up here because it'll get stuck when you do that. We don't want to do that. We want it to be a little bit more down, like this, and then come back up. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3, 4 and Frere Jacques, Frere Jacques, dormez-vous, dormez-vous, monin les matines, sonin les matines, ding ding dong, ding ding dong. Okay, and then the last thing to think about with this hand is we now want to take 4 fingers as a 4-finger pluck. Thumb on top, index finger underneath the 3, middle finger underneath your 2nd string, and ring finger underneath your 1st string. Okay, and now not from the elbow, but from your wrist and from your knuckle collapsing. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are you sleeping? Are you sleeping, Brother John? Brother John. Morning bells are ringing. Morning bells are ringing. Ding, ding, dong. Ding, ding, dong. Okay, so you've got that. What you're finding are lots of different ways to do your right hand. So far, we've only done one thing over here. Hold that chord. Okay, so now open up your little booklet. Okay, if you did this right, you should have printed it out, double-sided, short edge binding, and then everything will work out just lovely, right? Then page 2 and page 3 and so on. It all lines up perfectly. However, if you don't have a double-sided printer, it won't work. So just hit regular print. And if you leave it on long edge binding, every other page will be upside down. Okay, so this is a bit of an adventure to print this out. But if you can't print it out right, just print it out just regular, and then you'll have to search around for the page we're on. But I want to talk about page 1. Page 1 has 4 chords on it. So let's go run through those chords. First chord has an A chord. It's index, middle, ring. Now, unfortunately for you guys, the booklet in front of you is the same one that the ukulele players get, and it's the same one the guitar players get. And your chord shapes are a little bit harder than the ukulele ones, and they're a little bit easier than the guitar ones, okay? So you're going to do index on top, middle on top, ring on top. Just know that you can grab this book, and every single one of those types of players can play right along with you because they know those chords as well. Okay? There's your A chord. Now, it's always about how to get from one chord to another. It's not about what the chord looks like. I now know how to do an A chord, right? I just have to memorize it. But how do I get to an F sharp minor? Well, the key here is drop your bar, add your ring. Okay, so you're on A. Drop the bar while your ring finger is reaching over there. With bar chords, guys, that's part of the thing is new players have to learn, and especially baritone players. It's one of the downsides of playing baritone. You're going to be doing bars way sooner than other people. You got to get your bar on here. Sometimes it helps to take your middle finger and smash down your bar. Sometimes not. This is okay. It's not a bad habit you're creating. And then your ring finger goes way up here. Now, you'll notice like my finger wants to lay flat. Well, now I'm going to be touching the string below it, and I can't have that. So this, again, is another reason to make sure your thumb is properly middle of the neck, nice and flat, and that it's hanging out behind wherever the middle finger is. Okay, so we got the kind of situation going on. And now that's going to allow me to get my ring finger up there and in a nice position. Okay, so let's go back and forth between the two. A chord, go to F minor, F sharp minor, go back to A. F sharp minor, A. F sharp minor, finish up on A. Okay, now we also have to go to a D chord, and we're usually in A, and we got to get to D. Okay, so to get to D, everybody comes up, everybody slides down, index finger on the 3rd string, middle finger on the 1st string, ring finger reaches out onto the third fret of the second string. Okay, so let's go from D to A few times. G chord, A chord, D chord, A chord, D chord, A chord, D chord, finish up on A. Okay, so there's that. And then the last chord you have to know, which is your good one, right, is E7. So it's the same as an E chord, but we just don't hold that finger down. Back to A. Back to E7. Back to A. E7. A. E7. Okay, so those are your 4 chords in the book. Those 4 chords are going to come up every single day in your life as a musician, and so let's get pretty good at them. Okay, what I'd like to do is I'd like to do 4 beats of A, 4 beats of F sharp minor, 4 beats of D, 4 beats of E7, and then start the process over. And you're going to go through it with me 500 times. Okay, so from the beginning, start with A. We'll go slow, and then we'll speed it up just a little bit. Okay. It doesn't matter if you're doing this strum or this strum or this strum, whatever strum you feel comfy with. I'm probably just going to keep it simple. Okay, so A chord, 4 beats, and then 4 beats of each one. 1, 2. Well, let me count you. 1, 2, 3, 4. A, 2, 3, 4. F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4. D, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3, 4, and A, 2, 3, 4, F sharp minor, 2, 3, 4, and D, 2, 3, 4, E7, 2, 3. Keep going, 4 more of each. 1. When I'm teaching this in class, I'm going around looking to see who's struggling. A lot of people will struggle on that F sharp minor, getting that on. Some people will struggle with the D. And I just usually keep the class going until everybody's more or less getting it. Okay? So if you teach somebody this, just have them do this a whole bunch, because we're really training their fingers to get to one thing after another. And we want them to get a sense of accomplishment and a sense that their fingers are learning this new thing that they have to do. And some people take longer than others. Back to the A. Now let's pick it up to speed. A D and E7. This starts to sound like every song from the 50s. Sounds like a song that you may have heard before. Very common chord progression. It goes round and round. Bach used it and 21 Pilots used it too. Okay, so we're using a 1, 4, 5, 6 minor progression. So A, B, C, D, E, and F sharp minor. All of these 4 chords are the 4 chords that are going together, and this works on every instrument in every situation. It's always going to sound good, that type of chord progression. And so you're learning one of your most important and early chord progressions. Now let's talk about the rest of the book. Anything with a red headline has 1 chord in it. Anything with a green headline has 2 chords in it. Anything with a blue headline has 3 chords in it. And anything with a purple has 4 chords in it. Okay. And so tonight, I want you to, of course, continue double checking that Frere Jacques is going very smoothly for you. And then I want you to play through this book. There are about 34 songs in here, if I remember right. And all of them are playable with those 4 chords. And my goal is to get you where you're going to have them absolutely memorized. Those 4 chords, when you see F sharp minor, you don't have to think, what is that? You're going to have it memorized. Yeah, I think that it is helpful, right, Vic, just to go through those. So let's go grab first on page 1. Let's grab Three Blind Mice. It has 1 chord. It's an A. Tells you exactly what chord it is, and right there. So when you go to a ukulele strum along, or even a guitar folk music jam or something, they'll hand out papers and it'll have the lyrics on the paper, and then it tells you where to change the chords. But that's it. And so your job is to just know what those chords look like. That's why sometimes, if it's a weird chord, I'll pull up my chord finder app on my phone and like, oh yeah, F sharp minor. I remember that one, right? All right. So let's grab an A chord and let's play Three Blind Mice. Okay. Give me this 4-finger pluck. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 3 blind mice. 3 blind mice. See how they run. See how they run. They all ran after the farmer's wife. She cut off their tails with a carving knife. Have you ever seen such a sight in your life as 3 blind mice? Keep it going. Okay. Just getting comfy with that. This activity is going to become ever more increasingly important the further we go into music. Okay, let's switch the chord. Let's do a D chord and play Row, Row, Row Your Boat. Okay, from the top. Let's do this. 1, 2. 1, 2. 1, 2. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. Merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Row, row, row your boat right across the lake. Don't stand up and rock the boat, oh, that's a big mistake. Okay, so just something simple works perfectly fine. I do want to run through Lime and a Coconut real fast because I love that song, and a lot of you guys probably don't know it. Okay, change the words a little bit, change the rhythm a little bit, change the chord that we did it. So it's enough different from the original to be that I need to run over it with you. So E7. Okay, I like to do this one with the Pluck. I'm going to count in 3 and we're going to go. Just read through the words. When we get to those doctors, if you're teaching somebody, especially if you're teaching a little kid, tell them to yell doctor and then they'll have a blast. 1, 2, 3. My brother bought a coconut. He bought it for a dime. My sister had another one and spent it on a lime. You put the lime in the coconut. Shake it all up. You put the lime in the coconut. You put the lime in the coconut. Then you'll perk on up. Call the doctor, woke him up, and here is what I said. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? I said, doctor, to relieve this bellyache. I said, doctor, ain't there nothing I can take? You put the lime in the coconut, drink them both together. Take the lime in the coconut, then you'll feel much better. Put the lime in the coconut and call me in the morning. Let's do a tremolo. You're going to take your open palm with your plectrum down like this, okay? Hand up, fingers across. Okay, that's the Eddie Van Halen finish. Okay, so that's what in this book I put little asterisks every time you should do a tremolo. Call me in the morning. that goes. So tonight you've got 34 songs that you want to mess around with. Okay, start with the green headline. So let's go grab London Bridges, page 10. Okay. I did change this. In the original, it says take the key and lock her up, and I decided that was too negative. So I said take the key and have some tea, and it's very much more British that way. Grab your A chord, and then you're going to switch to your E7 and back. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. London Bridge is falling down, falling down, falling down. London Bridge is falling down, my fair lady. Build it up with silver and gold, silver and gold, silver and gold. Build it up with silver and gold, my fair lady. Take the key and have some tea, have some tea, have some tea. Take the key and have some tea, my fair lady. Okay, so lady, let it ring out. Do the opposite of what I did, and then tonight for sure, I want you to take a minute to look at Kookaburra, which is on the top of page 10. Kookaburra has all 4 of the chords in it. Okay, purple headline, and what I want you to do there is be ready for tomorrow, because this will be one we play for sure. Okay, and when you come in tomorrow, bring in whichever 2 or 3 songs are going okay for you in this, and say over here in the chat box, say, hey, I was killing Old MacDonald or whatever, right? And we'll play 2 or 3 of those tomorrow and see how we're all doing with those. There's lots and lots of tunes in here, and if you don't know them, obviously YouTube is your best resource for just going and listening to them. You may or may not know Kookaburra. If you were a Girl Scout, you probably know Kookaburra. Otherwise, you probably don't know it. Okay, I'm going to give you just the first verse, and then all of the other verses have exactly the same melody. Okay, 1, 2. Oops, let's get the A chord on. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kookaburra sits in the old gum tree. Merry, merry king of the bush is he. Laugh, Kookaburra, laugh. Kookaburra gay, your life must be. Kooka, and then we go on to the next verse. All 5 verses are exactly the same, and it'll give you a chance to just get that F sharp minor on. That's the tough one of the day, and then also get your D on. That's not exactly easy. Okay, so those are your main chords, at least at the moment for these. Now, tomorrow we will play through Garage Rock again. We will play through several of the songs out of this book, a couple of your choices, and for sure Kookaburra. And then we will also begin work on your scales. And so normally if I'm teaching guitar or I'm teaching ukulele, there's only one scale I teach you guys, because you live in this weird netherworld between those 2 places. You have to do 3 scales. Okay, so you're going to do G scale, D scale, and E scale, and I think, right? I'm trying to remember. Let me go double check. I knew it 10 seconds ago. G scale, D scale, and C scale. Sorry, not E scale, C scale. And because you're going to end up playing tons of stuff in G, tons of stuff in D, but you're also going to have to play in C an awful lot, because you're probably going to be hanging out with ukulele players, and so you got to get comfortable with that. And so when we talk about scales tomorrow, we'll talk a little bit about, hey, you are the low voicing, you are the cello of the band, right? If you have a quartet, you usually have a violin player, a viola player, a cello player, and a bass player, right? Those are your four voices in a string quartet. Uh, you in the ukulele world, we have high G ukulele, low G ukulele, baritone ukulele, and bass ukulele. So you're playing that role of the cello. Now that also puts you in league with Yo-Yo Ma, and he's not an exactly terrible musician. So there is lots of things we're going to do with the baritone that are different than ukulele, and in some cases better. But in some cases, and in many cases, you're going to have to be smart about playing the baritone way and the ukulele way and putting those together. And when we go to the guitar program, like if you go hang out with guitar players, you are going to have to be so much better at your bar chords than they're probably going to be. And you're going to be thinking, well, this seems like I chose the wrong instrument. But it's not. You're going to end up being the smartest musician there because you had to make these adjustments and accept different limitations especially with ensemble play. Now, if you're just going to be a soloist, if you are going to play this and nothing else, then your road's a little easier in terms of what you need to know. But I would not necessarily be thinking that. This is a really great ensemble instrument. And so we want you to know all of this stuff so that whatever situation you may find yourself in, you're going to be prepared for. All right, so a little bit short today, but what we want to do is spend the time. Frere Jacques, play through as many of these songs in this little book as you can, and then tomorrow we'll dig into scales, okay? And then by Friday, which is very exciting, we're going to tackle My Spaghetti Monster. We're going to take the chords, and we're going to take the melody, we're going to smash them together, we're going to get you playing chord melody, and then there's no stopping you, okay? And so by lesson number 4, you're going to be playing at a very high level, much higher than typical of people who play this type of instrument. So that's it. Hope you have a wonderful day. Hope things are going well for you. I hope you're staying safe. And any questions, comments, or concerns, drop them over here on the chat. Otherwise, we'll shut it down and we'll move on with our day. After this, I do guitar class, so if you want to swing by and take a look at that, please feel free to. Vic is headed over there right now, and that's a 4-level thing, so some of that's easy. It's like we do Frere Jacques over there as well. Loving the baritone. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day. Thank you, Carol. Yeah, it's like we had talked about yesterday. That deeper voicing is really, really nice. So, okay, guys, I'm gonna end the stream. I'll see all of you guys tomorrow, hopefully, and be good.